Vancouver has won 8 games in a row, coming off a really nice win and a tight game against the Phoenix Suns. But today we're going to do a lot more simming, about a month more, because I want to watch us play the Thunder on the road just 2 days after we play them at home. And by the way, the Thunder are the ones who signed Horace Rivers, who now is coming off the bench as the 7th man in their rotation behind Poku, who is their 6th man. They have a really strong roster. Nobody below 80 overall until you get to Rivers. So a really strong top 6 on the roster. And Rivers right now, by the way, averaging 11.7 points per game, 5.4 boards, 1.7 assists. Not shooting as well as he did last year, but it's still fairly close. And he is shooting a lot better from 3 this year. In fact, he is shooting very well from 3. Free throws about what they were last year, not much of a change. And he's playing a bit less than he was last year, but still getting around 25 minutes per game, which is really solid for him off the bench, I think. But the Thunder right now are 15-8. We are 18-8. And we won't get to see the win streak continue most likely because we're going to have a loss somewhere in this simming stretch. You just have to think. So let's go ahead and sim ahead. We are currently a game and a half ahead of them because they played 3 less games than we have. But let's see what it's looking like once we get to January 5th. And just about a week and a half after the Suns game, Wellington actually has returned. We did just have a loss prior to this game, which did end our win streak at 11, I believe. But Wellington's back, and I think you got to put him back into our lineup. So I will go back and edit our rotation timeline to get him back into our lineup for us. Once again, took me about half an hour, but I eventually got to it, and our timeline is back to what it was prior to Wellington being hurt. Yeah, so Holland's back to 28 minutes, Anderson and Wagner still at 37, Keldon Johnson back down to around 32, Payne down to 30, and then we have Dosunmu and Wellington 20 minutes each, and then Carney and Zubats 18 minutes each. All right, so Wellington is now officially back against Chicago. We are 3-1 so far. Our win streak, of course, did get up to 11 wins. We lost against the Knicks by 1 point. Now we have the rest of these games to sim. So let's do that, and hopefully no more injuries. We can just pray. Turns out we have an injury right after we lose to the Bulls. Keldon Johnson, bruised right hip, 1 to 2 weeks. We'll keep him in. I think he'll be all right. Okay, so in total we have simmed 13 games, and in those 13 games, we nearly split them. We end up with 6 losses, and we do have 7 wins. So not much of a change in terms of our percentage, and we are now second in the conference still. 2 games back from the Pelicans at this point. The Thunder are 1 game back from us. So our first game was a 2-point win against the Kings on the road. Bay drops 21-6, Love drops 16, but the Woodsmen got 20 from Anderson, 18 from Keldon Johnson, 15 from Dosunmu. Wagner not having his best day this time around. Payne a double-double, and Carney had 10 off the bench. Hollins 11 assists. Team comparison, we shot 43% to their 36%. We just barely scraped by here. Our 10th win in a row comes against the Wizards, and we just absolutely destroy them by 24 on our home court. Wagner with a huge 39 and 11. Keldon Johnson played very well. Anderson had 20 points. Payne a nice double-double here as well. Hollins 7 and 12. Carney 11 off the bench. The Wizards had 16 for Darrell Wheeler and 13 for AJ Griffin, and we held Ben Caro to only 10 points on the day, 3 for 16 shooting. Win number 11 in a row comes against Milwaukee. We take them down in a very low-scoring game, 86-78 on the road. Gerard Bass, 12 points to lead the Bucks in scoring. We hold Donovan Mitchell to 11, and we hold Giannis to only 10. Not a lot of scoring in this one for either team. Wagner was the game's leading scorer with 23. Keldon Johnson had 17, Dosunmu had 14, and Anderson only 11 points here in this one, 5 for 17 from the field. Payne had 14 boards and 4 steals though, and Carney had 3 steals too. But our win streak would end in overtime at home against the Knicks. We lose by a single point, Wagner drops 30, 12, and 7. Carney has his best day of his career, 28 points off the bench. Keldon Johnson had 24. Anderson had 23, 9, and 5 with 2 steals and 2 blocks. Payne a double-double. Hollins 1 point shy of a double-double with 11 assists. I'm surprised we lost this game. But the Knicks got 36 from BI, 15 for 17 from the field. Enrique Rivera, 33, 5, and 7. Those guys just completely carried the Knicks to a win. Then, in Wellington's first game back from injury and our first game with him on the team since he got hurt, Wagner drops 25 and 6 in the loss. We lost by 20 against a really bad Bulls team. Wellington had 15 points off the bench. Carney had 13. Zubac had 13. So really, it seems like this game, the starters were the main issue besides Wagner. We had Hollins go 3 for 10. Payne was all right. Anderson, though, 6 points only, 1 for 9 from the field. Keldon Johnson, 4 points, 2 for 7. And it looks like Keldon Johnson didn't play as much as he should have. Only 23 minutes here in this one. The Bulls, meanwhile, got 21 from Charlie White III and Frederick Dennis. Ellis Wright drops 20 as well, and Levine drops 18. We bounce back by taking down the Suns once again, 110-85. Wagner with 27 and 10. Hollins 23 here in this one. Anderson 18 points on just 5 for 15 shooting. Kind of getting worried about his performances recently. Carney had 11, 4 for 13 from the field. And Keldon Johnson only 8 points in this one. The Suns had 24 from Booker. Copeland with 13, 10, and 8. Nowhere near as productive as he was in our last matchup. Herb Green 13 points and Blackwell had 10. We win again by taking down the Utah Jazz. They almost came back in the fourth quarter and won, but we hang on by a thread to win 105-104. Wagner dropped 17, Carney 17, Hollins 16, Anderson 16 on 21 shots. Keldon Johnson with 12, Payne a double-double. Nobody really played particularly well besides Hollins and Payne, but we still came out on top. Anderson, I'm getting kind of concerned here with these recent games. RJ Barrett had 32 for the Jazz and 18 from D'Lo. Next game, we lose against Atlanta. Bryant Lambert drops 20 and 11. Trae Young, 18 points, 13 assists. The Woodsmen got 33, 4 and 6 for Wagner. Anderson with 16 points, a 6 for 16. Really has not shot the ball well these last couple of games. Still averaging 22.2 on the year, but his field goal percentage has definitely dipped this last 13-game stretch. Pretty much across the board except for free throw percentage. Everything's gone down. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, those have all gone down. But back to our box score. Payne had 14 and 9. Keldon Johnson only 9 points. Hollins had 11 assists. Carney 2 for 8 from the field. And we did shoot 45%. They shot 50, but they shot more threes than we did. They made 5 more than we did. And we just lost by 17 points. We faced them again, and this time we allow them to outscore us by 23 in the fourth quarter to come back and win by 12. So we could have won, give ourselves a really good chance to, and then in the fourth quarter we just blew it. Anderson drops 22, his first 20-plus point game in a couple of matchups. Hollins 21, 6 and 6. Wagner 19, 7 and 6. Payne 15 boards. And Carney, no points, 0 for 7. The Hawks had 17 this time around for Lambert. Trae Young, 16 and 15. So the Hawks played pretty similarly as to their previous game, and we still lose. That's cool. Next up are the Clippers, and we did take them down in this one by 13 points. Edwards drops 30 on 13 for 15 shooting, but nobody else really had much contributions. The Woodsmen got 37 from Franz Wagner, 19 and 8 for Hollins, 16 for Wellington, 13 for Anderson, 4 for 16 from the field, and 12 and 11 for Don Payne. Then we fall to Denver, but Anderson does get back on track. 37 points in this one, 11 for 20 from the field. As long as him and Franz are taking the same number of shots and they're kind of shooting a similar percentage, I'm not going to worry. But recently, as we have seen these last couple of games, he has not been himself. Anderson has not. So do we consider going away from playing through star and going back to neutral? That might be better for him because I'm still not sure which star we're actually playing through. And if we're playing through him and he's not playing as well because we're doing that, then just go back to neutral. If we're playing through Wagner instead of him, then we probably still should go back because with this current lineup, we aren't putting together massive win streaks like we did when Wellington was out. Maybe there's something else there to it. I'm not really sure. But in this game, Wagner drops 24. Keldon Johnson, 18 points. That's what you look for from him. Payne, 13 boards with 4 blocks. The Nuggets had a massive triple-double from Jokic, 29, 18, and 10. That's insane. And he led them to a win. They won by 13 points. After that, we lost to Toronto by just 2 points. We let them come back. They were down by 17 points at halftime, and they would come back to win by 2 in the fourth quarter. Scotty Barnes, 26 in this one. Dan Westbrook, 18 points. Dario Dragic had 18. And the Woodsmen got 24 for Anderson, 18 shots. Wagner had 22 and 17 shots. Again, that's what I'm looking for. Keldon Johnson took 14 shots. That's nice too. Carney, 13. Zubats had 11. Hollins, 1 point shy of a double-double. And Payne had 8 and 12 with 2 blocks. And our most recent game was a win against the Thunder by 28 points. We outscored them by 15 points in the fourth quarter to pretty much wrap up the game and secure it. Wagner drops 29, 7 and 6, 19 shots. Anderson, 27 points on 10 for 21 shooting. Both guys, again, this is what I'm looking for. This kind of a box score is what you want. Keldon Johnson, 18 points on 13 shots. Payne, 18 and 18, 9 for 16 shooting. Wellington shot very well. Hollins had a double-double this time around. Carney, 8 points, not shooting very well these last couple of games. And Isumu had 7 and 7, pretty solid for 19 minutes. The Thunder had 17 for Klimov. He led the way in scoring. Eklund had a double-double, sorry. And Baisley had 15 points as well. And it looks like Rivers played, and he scored 11 points in 22 minutes, 4 for 7 from the field, with 6 boards as well. And I don't see Giddey here, so he could be hurt, not entirely sure. According to their roster, Giddey and Holmgren both are hurt, and they were both starting. They are the best players on the team, both of them. So they're both going to be out this game. I just checked. So we're going to be facing a starting 5 of KPJ, Yuri Klimov, Eklund. I believe they're going to start Jaden Hardy, and they're going to start Yunlong Lee at center. So definitely not the team that we thought we were going to face today, but we're still going to watch them. Just how it shakes out sometimes. So Giddey and Holmgren will both miss this game, but that might mean more chances here for Rivers to get a lot more playing time. But here we go. Here are your starting 5 for both rosters. Let's dive in and visit OKC on the road and take them down. We are here at Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They win the tip. The Thunder start with the ball. Missing their 2 starters, their 2 star players, actually. So, who can step up for OKC in their absence? Let's find out. Hardy, his first take is a miss down low. Anderson gets the stop, but Payne turns it over, then swats that shot back in Lee's face, and we're back with it. Hollins trying to beat KPJ off the dribble. His shot off the glass is off the mark. Porter to Klimov. He'll fire. That one's good. And he opens the scoring here in Oklahoma City. Hollins with the ball. Trying to find someone. It's going to be Anderson. He backs down Hardy. Spins, fires, and got that one to go. Hardy to Lee against Payne. He'll attack. He's fouled. It's the first on Payne. First free throw for Lee is off the mark. Using both hands to shoot his free throws. and he goes 1 for 2. Hollins to Wagner. Goes not to shoot. Screen from Payne instead. Now we'll find Hollins. Wide open 3. Offline. Hardy with it. Waiting for a screen. No, he goes to Eklund instead. He'll have to fire. And that shot's off too, but Lee is there on the offensive glass, and he's fouled by Payne. Already 2 on him. Less than 3 minutes through the first quarter. That is not Dosunmu. That's the wrong name. First free throw for Lee. Good. And the second one is good as well. Wagner with it. Trying to find the cut by Anderson. There he is. Eklund. No, Klimov. Wide open at the rim. What happened there? Thunder up by 4. Wagner feeds Payne. He steps back. Thought about shooting. Chose not to from the elbow. Goes to Wagner instead. Down low against Eklund. He fires and got it. There's his first 2. Screen from Lee. Porter fires for 3. Back iron. Anderson to Hollins for 3. This time he knocks it down. And that puts Vancouver in front. Hardy gets down low. Fires. Missed it. On the other end, mismatch down low with Payne against Hardy if we can get the ball to him. Which we do. Payne backs him down. Pump fakes. Go up. There you go. Porter to Klimov at the elbow. Off the mark as well. Gold stretch here for the Thunder. Let's take advantage here. The play for Anderson right down the middle. We love this play. And it keeps on working. Hardy off a couple of screens. Gets in the paint. Tries to lob it up to Eklund for some reason. That was a terrible idea. On the other end, Keldon Johnson with defenders and is blocked by Lee. Gets it back and his putback is through. Those are his first points at Vancouver. All of a sudden up 15-8. An 11-0 run by your Woodsmen. After the Thunder timeout, Klimov's first shot is up and good to break their cold stretch. Anderson crosses the court. Hollins goes to him, but a bit too late. Payne sets the screen. Anderson spots up for 3 and knocks it down. Vancouver catching fire here midway through this first quarter. Klimov off the screen, fires for 3, trying to answer back, which she does. 5 on the shot clock for the Woodsmen. Keldon Johnson finds some open space, got a wide open look. All right, let's jump ahead to the second quarter. About 7.5 to go until halftime, and OKC has somehow jumped out in front by 1, 39-38. They have closed the gap and put themselves in the lead. Anderson, first shot of the quarter, off the mark. Klimov off the screen from Eklund, fires, and hits back iron this time. Carney over to Hollins, open look for 3. Got it this time. Vancouver up by 2. Eklund finds the Klimov cut down the middle. Nice play call. Hollins to Anderson, wide open 3. Bit too much on it though, and Klimov gets the board. He goes up to Porter. In the paint. He lost it. Gets back to it, though. By the way, Anderson's got 14 points, 6 for 9 shooting. Hardy down low trying to challenge him. One said pass out of it, and Anderson blocked the pass. And Payne ends up with the steal off that deflection. Fantastic defensive work. Payne to Anderson. Screen for him. Anderson, open look, missed it, and Eklund comes up again with the board. Klimov to Hardy. Guarded by Hollins, he'll attack the paint. And he'll fire, and he missed the shot. Hollins gets the stop. Tied at 41. Vancouver trying to break it. Keldon Johnson finds Carney on the cut. Nice feed. Klimov attacks the rim, and Carney blocked the shot. Klimov gets back to it. Second try is also off the mark, and Payne gets the board this time. About some defensive playmaking from Joel Carney here in this one. I've not seen that much before, but nice to see it at some point. Holland steps back and fires, misses that mid-range jumper. Lee to Hardy, top of the key, foot on the line. That'll count as a 2. We're tied again. After a Vancouver timeout, Wagner, Wellington, and Asumu have all checked in along with Zubats. Anderson still out there as he will fire off a 3. That one's offline too. Klimov, mid-range jumper. That one rattles in. OKC back in front. He's got 27 points. What? It's the second quarter. Hold on. What's going on here? How is that possible? 27. The next closest guy has 7. He's 12 for 16. We got to put somebody else on him. Immediately. Defensive settings. I don't have a specific guy guarding him right now, but let's just put Bronze on him. And he'll get some stops for us, I think. Well, I mean, that's why we're losing. Wagner for 3. That's offline too. Hardy to Klimov. In there for 2 more off the off-ball screen. Wellington time counting down. Has to get a shot off. His layup is good. He split 2 defenders, and that's our first look at him since the injury. And that was pretty nice. Klimov to Eklund. Not going to shoot yet. Waiting for an open pass. It's going to be Klimov for 3. He missed a shot. And Zubats got the board. Wellington hands off to Anderson. His layup is off, but he was fouled by Owen Rush. That's his first. These free throws could tie it if he hits both. He shot 92% so far this year at the charity stripe. He's been very efficient. And he'll go 2 for 2 on this little stint. We're tied again, as Rivers has checked in at center for the Thunder. So him against Zubats. As of right now, we'll see if Payne checks in soon. I don't think he will. Hardy against Wellington, though, gets inside the paint. Lost the handle. Rivers gets back to it. Now back to Hardy. He'll fire. That shot's off the mark, and Zubats gets the board. Under 2 to go until halftime. Sumu, his first shot of the night that we've seen, is off the mark. Can't break the tie. Klimov, mismatch against Wellington. We're going to get those with this big lineup they have against Sumu and Wellington if they're on the court at the same time. But that's not a good look. But Hardy knocks it down, so I guess I'll be quiet. I'm sorry. Wagner feeds Zubats. He goes to Anderson for 3. A bit contested off the mark. Wagner gets the offensive board and puts it in for 2. 1-point game. A minute to go until halftime. Baisley, what a pass to Hardy, but he missed the layup. Zubats came over to help, and that's why he missed it. Fantastic. Hardy only 2 for 8 so far in this one. We've seen both of his shots fall. Wellington finds Asumu, wide open look, mid-range jumper. That puts us in front by 1. Klimov guarded by Wagner, takes the screen from Rivers. We cover it very well, but the shot's good anyways. Who is this guy, man? I know his name, but who is he? Wellington crossing. Anderson shrugs him off, takes the screen, and fires a 3. Open look. Got it this time to beat the halftime buzzer. Vancouver leads 54-52 at the break. All right, start of the third quarter. I want to watch some more of these starters right now to see if we can extend our lead. Nice pass to Payne from Anderson. His shot is good, plus the foul as well against Lee. What a start to this half. free throw from Payne is off the mark. Porter lost the handle, poked out by Wagner, now poked out by Hollins. He gets back to it. He fires. It's blocked by Wagner. Great defense by him and Hollins, just to completely stifle KPJ. On the other end, Keldon Johnson goes to Hollins. He'll fire a three. That one hits back iron. On the other end, Klimov, mismatch against Hollins, easy two for him. This guy's insane. Wagner trying to find an open man. No one yet. Now Hollins, top of the key, makes up for his previous miss. Couple of screens for Klimov. He'll take them. Wagner catches up. Good defense so far, and a steal for Wagner here as well. Fantastic. Already two great stops by him. Hollins to Keldon Johnson. Screen from Payne coming. Johnson for three. That's offline. Porter out to Hardy. Guarded by Anderson. He'll take the screen from Lee. Now back to him. He'll spot up. And he knocks it down. The stretch five. Wagner has it again. He'll go to Anderson. Top of the key. Now at the elbow, has to fire. That one's off, but Payne tips it back in. Great job. Vancouver's still holding on to a 4-point lead. Payne's got 8 points, 9 boards, 4 for 4 from the field. Playing well to this point. Just what he needs to be doing. Getting the offensive boards, putting it back in, a couple of defensive boards too, and a couple of blocks. That's what you want from him. Lee, mid-range jumper, got it once again. Thunder not going away so far in this third quarter. Wagner for three off the feed from Hollins. It's good. Vancouver up by 5. Klimov gets in the paint. Floater over. Wagner, no good. Great shot contest. Had a hand right up in there. Almost blocked it too. We go to Anderson. A pass of this three. Payne the screen. Now an open look for Anderson. Got it. After a Thunder timeout, they're going to go to Porter Jr. His jumper is blocked by Don Payne. Got it back. Shot won't count. Shot clock violation. The defense so far this quarter has been a lot better than in the first. Anderson off the Payne screen. It's covered well by Klimov. He hands off to Payne. Below the rim. He'll go up. And he got fouled by Lee. That's his second. Free throws for Payne. I'm expecting 1 for 2 here. First one is off. Please don't miss both. Really don't want that. But he does. Klimov, top of the key in the face of Johnson. Missed it, and we get the ball eventually. Another good stop right there. And in his face. Not the best look for Klimov. Hollins to Anderson. Decent look. Offline, though. Klimov comes down with it. Down by 7. Thunder trying to close the gap here. Almost halfway through this third quarter. Porter to Klimov in the corner. Keldon Johnson guarding him. He hands off to Lee. Payne gets the stop, but Eklund gets the board. Offense resets for OKC. Porter to Rodich. Now back to Porter. Time counting down. Good defense so far. And we get the stop again. Keldon Johnson with it. Handing off to Wagner. He's a bit tired out there. Should be checking out soon. Off the screen. He hands off back to Payne. His fadeaway shot is off the mark. Porter to Rodich. He can't score, but he was fouled by Wagner. Saved at least a bucket right there, but it might not matter. First free throw is good. And Rodich goes 2 for 2, so yeah, foul didn't matter, but it was a good try. Isumu, Wellington, Carney all check in. We move Keldon Johnson to power forward. Payne still in there as the center. Isumu Hands back off to Payne. Good play, and we get the foul called against Rivers. But we have not seen much of tonight, but now against Payne down low. First free throw of the day drops for Payne. And he is now 2 for 5, so he goes 2 for 2 that time. Rush to Porter. He fires into Suma's face and missed it. Johnson gets the board. We'll watch one final offensive play before we sim ahead. Carney to Wellington. Now he'll get the handoff. Now Wellington crosses. Carney doesn't find him. And Payne has to jack up a 3. And it's offline. Not the best look right there. Not a great possession whatsoever. We flash ahead with 7:15 to go in regulation. Vancouver up 101 to 84. The third quarter was by far our best of the game. We outscored them by 14 points. That's why we're in front by as many as we are right now. So fantastic job so far this half. Klimov not doing as well as he was, but he's not in right now. That was Eklund actually. Keldon Johnson can't finish through traffic, but Payne comes out of nowhere for the tip in. Another good offensive board and put back 2. We're up by 19 points now. This game could be over for the Thunder, but I want to jump in and just see if we can increase our lead and just stifle them from any sort of a comeback here. Rivers has not even scored from what we've seen, but we have simmed quite a bit of the game, so not entirely sure. And he's fouled. Well, Porter's fouled by Hollins. Porter finds Rodich. His shot is up and good from deep. Payne with it. He hands off to Wagner. And that's a bad look for 3, and he airballed it 2. Where does that play come from? I thought I got rid of that like 3 years ago. Where has it come from? I have no idea. Under 6 to play. Rodich got 2 more again. Hollins races to the rim and then goes back out. Thought he had a decent look there for a layup attempt. Wagner instead finds Keldon Johnson, top of the key with some space. Missed it. Payne's there on the board, though. Out to Anderson. He'll attack the baseline and fire over Rivers, who gets the stop against his former teammate. On the other end, Porter gets by Hollins, and his shot off the glass is off the mark. Wagner came over to help and ends up with another good defensive play here in the second half. Wagner finds Anderson's backdoor cuts, and he's got 2 more. 29 points on the day for him, 55% from the field. 34 minutes of action so far as OKC calls timeout down by 16. Rodich is found, but he missed the shot this time. It's tipped back out. Hardy ends up with it. The offense resets for the Thunder. Rivers sets the screen. Hardy launches. That one's off too. Keldon Johnson defeats Payne. Mismatch against Porter. Porter should be easy too. Got it. Screen from Rivers. Porter. The jumper. Offline. Cold stretch here for OKC. Hollins back to Anderson. Wide open 3. That one's off. Has it been extremely efficient from downtown, but has played well overall as Wagner got the board and gets there for 2. Vancouver up by 20. I think I'll just show the makes from the Woodsmen for the rest of the way so we can wrap this game up, because this game's over. Never mind, there's a 3 for Rivers right there, wide open. That's the first bucket we have seen from him not wearing a Vancouver uniform. Anderson tries to cap this game off right there, knocking down that mid-range jumper to give him 31 on the day. And Vancouver will take this one 112-93 on the road at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City. 19-point win for Vancouver. Really solid double, be it against a very handicapped OKC team. But you expect to win by this much against a team that is missing their 2 star players, and this game is what you get there. Vancouver moves to 26-14 on the year, and in this game, Klimov did nothing after we put Franz Wagner on him, who locked him up in that second half. Huge reason why we won this game. Lee had 15, Baisley had 11, but for the Woodsmen, Anderson drops 31 on 12 for 24 shooting. Wagner had 21 with 4 steals. Carney had 17 off the bench, another good game by him, and Payne, what a day he had. 16 points, 21 boards, 6 for 8 from the field. Hollins, 11 and 5. And we just played a better overall game than they did, which is what you expect against a team missing their best players. So they are now 2 full games back from us. We are 1.5 games back from the Pelicans. So we do have a game against... Well, we have 2 games against them in the next 5. So we'll find out next episode if we can maybe use this next 5-game stretch where we have 2 games against them to perhaps push ourselves ahead of them before we have about a week off. So that'll be nice for rest. If anybody gets hurt these next 5 games, I'm going to be upset because we have a whole week of rest coming up, which we desperately need. But that is all from me today, folks. Team chemistry up to 83%, fan interest at 98%, and we are second in the conference. We're looking pretty solid as of right now. But again, should we change things around? Should we go away from playing through star and go back to neutral? Because frankly, the one good stretch we have had this year, at least simming-wise, has been with Wellington out. But that was only for about half of the time that he missed, because we had this 11-game win streak from the 24th all the way until the 15th. So that was a long win streak. And if we could find a way to put ourselves in that kind of place again, I think it could go a long way. Because before and after that, we have pretty much split the games that we played. So we need to find out a way to be more consistent here. But that's all I got for us today. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. And thanks guys again so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.